Hey guys, Claire here, and in today's video we're going to talk about all things Harry and Meghan. More Rosé is on the way. As ever, just revealed that more Rosé will be available for purchase by next week. So, if you had no luck in getting some Rosé in the first launch, another opportunity is fast approaching. As ever recently posted, we hope you're having a beautiful summer, enjoying the adventure of travel or the calm of home, finding beauty in the little things, and perhaps trying something new. Many of you were able to try our debut Napa Valley Rosé, and we were over the moon to hear your feedback. This affirmed all of the love, time, and effort our team and our founder poured into curating this blend to evoke the sun-drenched spirit of the Napa Valley and the breathtaking tenor of the California coast. Thank you for filling our cup, and now it's time for us to fill your glass. We're pleased to share that our 2024 Napa Valley Rosé will be available for purchase next week. So I'm sure by now many of you have heard of the earthquakes and tsunami warnings. So if any of you listeners are in a place or have relatives or friends that are in spaces that are under the tsunami advisories, know that my prayers are with you. Please be safe. Now, of course, the British press took an opportunity to share that Harry and Meghan's home is included in the advisory zone. I hope the Sussexes and everyone under those advisories are safe. And while we're on the media speculation about all things Sussexes, people recently wrote an article talking about some sort of transparency when it relates to Harry and Meghan's schedule events. Now that story sounds like a bunch of hoo-ha to me. People magazine, much like all of the media sources that are very like People magazine-esque, Variety, Town and Country. Unfortunately, sometimes they don't always get it right. And to me, it seems like they favor clickbait over, actual facts. So take this with a grain of salt. Part of the article says the proposal would allow transparency about the Duke of Sussex's scheduled events, avoiding conflicts between Harry and Meghan's public outings and the British royal family's engagements. And that is from the Mail on Sunday. So, yeah. Highly doubted. According to the outlet, Prince Harry's recent visit to Angola dominated newspapers, bumping off Camilla's birthday coverage. Well, we know that's true, but honestly, it really didn't take much to bump off Camilla's birthday coverage, because regardless of all the work that Charles and Camilla and their offices have done to sort of rehabilitate her image, a lot of people still don't care for Camilla, except those die-hard monarchists. And if Harry and Meghan were to give the palace access to their schedules, no doubt we will all know what they're up to, because the palace will no doubt take a very quickly pass on the information to the British press, who will in turn blast it all over the internet, because that's what they do. But we know that there's no leaks in Montecito, and like I said, this story comes from the Mail on Sunday, so yeah, I'm not buying it. Also, in one breath, Harry and Meghan are irrelevant. No one likes them, and why won't they just go away? But if they're so irrelevant and they're posing absolutely no threat to the royal family, who's a well-functioning, cohesive unit, then why do you have to worry about the Sussexes overshadowing you? Yeah? Contradictions and hypocrisy, as per usual.
The late Queen Elizabeth was the monarchy's center of gravity. With her gone, it seems like everything is drifting. The king that we currently have, he was never really beloved, and his heir is actually polarizing right now. Not many people seem to like him either. And Harry and Meghan, they at least stepped away from the chaos. So what we're seeing now is an institution without a moral compass, a family with no real leader, and a media machine feeding on the void. If the monarchy feels unstable today, it's because the people running it are treating it like a PR brand and not a constitutional anchor. And without the Queen's silent discipline, it looks like a bunch of influencers having a meltdown, because you have a house full of egos, briefings, and backstabbings, and nobody is able to call all of them to order.
Now recently there was an article from Feminegra that I found to be quite interesting, and it's titled "Jamaica and Grenada Intensify Pressure on the Monarchy and Demand Reparations." While King Charles and Prince William polish their images in Britain and bemoan who gets on the front page, the Caribbean is moving in a different direction. Across the region, calls to remove the monarchy as head of state are growing louder. Republicanism is no longer a fringe demand. It's a rising wave with political backing, grassroots support, and a momentum that shows no signs of slowing. For a king who inherited more than a crown, the challenge is clear. His symbolic power is evaporating in the very places Britain once ruled. Now remember, in 2022, Edward and Sophie were preparing to visit Grenada, but the itinerary was suddenly changed. Now, without public explanation, the British royals canceled their stop to Grenada shortly after receiving a former letter from Ali Gill, who is the chair of Grenada's National Reparations Committee. In the letter, Gill requested a meeting to discuss slavery, indigenous genocide, and reparations. He made it clear that the visit would be incomplete without addressing those issues directly. Keyword, directly. Gill later revealed that no response ever came, but soon after the letter reached the Governor General, the visit was scrapped. Gill does not claim sole credit, but the sequence raised questions. Why avoid a dialogue that millions in the Caribbean are already having? Why run from accountability? The silence from the palace spoke volumes. So as Charles and William staged polished appearances across the UK, they continue to sidestep the questions coming from outside the palace walls. In the Caribbean, republicanism is not just a symbolic gesture. It's a political, historical, and deeply personal. Countries like Jamaica and Grenada still bear the weight of colonization in their institutions, economies, and identities. The royal family, despite its vast wealth and ceremonial grandeur, has issued no apology, offers no restitution, and has taken no responsibility for its role in slavery and the empire. This is no longer a debate about nostalgia or tradition. It's a reckoning with empire. The British monarchy's role as head of state in the Caribbean is nearing its end. The only question now is how long the royals will continue to act as if nothing is changing. Quite frankly, I think Charles would probably be the one who would be far more disappointed, incensed at the loss of the Caribbean countries as it relates to being like the head of state for the Caribbean. I don't think William cares. I think for William that would be one less task he has to worry about. When the Prime Minister of Jamaica told him and Kate during their visit that they're moving on, they were embarrassed because it was a bit embarrassing to be called out like that before you barely had a minute to sit and catch your breath. I don't know. I feel like William barely does a lot of work in the UK, so I highly doubt that he cares to do work in the Caribbean Commonwealth nations, where most of the people are primarily black and brown. And we see how the royal family interacts with people who are black and brown. So let me know. If you're interested, this article is from Feminegra, so you can check it out.
Right before King Charles is set to take his summer holiday, someone asked to his face why the royal family costs $500 million every single year. And the only thing that Charles said in response was, yes. Literally, that is what he said before he walked away from the person who asked him that. I will still never get over the fact that the royal family takes in $500 million a year, but they did not have money to pay for Meghan Markle. Sorry, Meghan Sussex now. And they take about 2 months off every single year for that $500 million. Right before the royal summer holiday, which generally takes place between August and September, aka that is when people do not see them as much because they are gone and they are taking their summer holidays. For example, William is currently on a mega yacht in Greece. So does their cost really justify everything that they give the country?
So it looks like the Daily Mail has finally addressed the sightings of the Waleses on that £40 million super yacht. But look at the framing of the article, right? Very tame, very timid. Myself and a lot of other people can't help but remember the way that the framing about the earrings that Meghan wore while she was a senior working royal was completely different. I remember the articles. You would think that Meghan was committing some sort of crime. Remember, they linked it to the death of that journalist Jamal Khashoggi. So it's interesting to see, once again, for like the millionth time, the hypocrisy and the double standards. Remember that article from the Daily Mail? It was blood-soaked earrings from the Saudi prince. Newsweek said there was a big controversy around the Saudi prince's gifted earrings to Meghan. The way they talked about her wearing those earrings that she was given permission to wear from the royal family. And remember, the royal family didn't want her to have access to the jewels, the tiaras, and all the fabulous jewels in the royal collection. And they fed her to the wolves. So, yeah, hypocrisy.
When the dust settles, the truth always remains. What do I mean? Isn't it wild? All the things that Meghan was accused of, the headlines, the hit pieces, the carefully planted sources, are now being reflected back on the very people who tried to bury her. They called her a bully, while the actual palace staffers are now speaking out about certain tantrums, screaming aides, gardener mistreatment, and a culture of fear. They accused her of dividing the family. Meanwhile, the king and his heir, they are locked in a massive PR war that I've never seen in my life. There are backroom meetings and there are power plays. They said that she was a narcissist, yet if you watch how the others are using charity work for clout, we know that there's a certain prince, they call him the Prince of Pledges. He's pledged so many times to do so many things for so many charities with very little results. He does things for the camera optics, and he has no legacy to feed the media. And yet, it's all about their vanity. So these are the things that they've accused her of. Meanwhile, they are the guilty ones. They painted her as a social climber. Meanwhile, every royal product, every garden tour, every eco initiative is a cash grab being marked as tradition. Everything they accused her of is exactly what they've turned out to be. They rushed to label Meghan. The truth takes time, and slowly the truth is catching up with all the palaces. One leaked staff complaint at a time, one failed documentary at a time, one quiet ratings flop at a time, one ugly internal power struggle at a time. And you know what's funny? The people who screamed, "Protect the monarchy," they were rude to the monarchy. They have ended up exposing the monarchy the most. They wanted to make her a villain, but now the real dysfunction within that family is too loud to hide. Reputation that is built on lies will always crumble under the weight of reality. And now that the real queen is gone, that last shield of dignity, the truth is now rising through the cracks. Meghan didn't even have to defend herself. All she had to do was wait, because now the truth is defending her. I just feel so vindicated on her behalf.
I feel like a lot of people do know and remember that that family is and has always been incredibly toxic and scandalous. Some people engage in performative outrage and selective memories when it comes to the royal family. But I do agree the lack of a Queen Elizabeth there definitely has hurt the institution. Charles's sort of like petty ways definitely has not helped. Now, there was a commentary from Katie, and she talked about Charles's parenting is a reflection of what he experienced. And remember, Harry talked about that in Spare. But my point is, yes, his parents could have been better, but he could have tried to do better with Harry and William, just as Harry's trying to do better for his children.
I'm constantly calling King Charles a bad father, and that is because he is a bad father. But he didn't have very good examples about being a good father or being a good parent, because he did not have good parents. Oh yes, his mother was a great queen. In fact, one of the best, many people might say. But she was a great queen at the expense of being a terrible mother. It has been reported that she spent about 20 minutes a day with Charles. Obviously, she was very busy. I get that. But he was raised by nannies, not by his parents. So if Philip believed that he wouldn't be a good king because he lacked the dedication necessary, then maybe Philip should have, I don't know, spent more time with him and taught him what he needed to know, instead of shipping him off to a boarding school that made his life a living hell. So while I believe that Charles needs to step up and be a better man and a better father, I do see why he's not.
A few days ago, we found out that Kate Middleton's personal assistant and stylist of 15 years, Natasha Archer, was stalking or following pretty much all of Meghan Markle's inner circle. And I do mean everyone. She was following blogs dedicated to Meghan. She was following Meghan's hair colorist, highbrow hippie, who I'm pretty sure only takes clients in California. She was even following Meghan herself and the As Ever official Instagram page. She called about 1,400 accounts on her following list once she realized, like, this is public. So when can we stop infantilizing Kate Middleton and extending her grace that only ever seems to be reserved for white women? Because you know, if this was Meghan, they would be eating her alive. And I'm already seeing comments online saying, it's not that deep. It's not that deep. For once, it is that deep. Because imagine othering your new sister-in-law, letting tabloids spread vicious lies about you that you say your hands are tied and you can't correct those lies. Allowing your fans to foster and cultivate a vile, often racist, sexist, xenophobic, community, all in your name. All the while you're working behind the scenes to rework everything for yourself. And this is not just about clothing, this is about everything. Their social media strategy completely changed after Harry and Meghan. The way that they act in public completely changed after Harry and Meghan. Even the types of work they want to do changed after Harry and Meghan. I'll be posting a few more videos about this because I think it is incredibly important. The fact that only GB News across the pond actually ran with this story shows you that they're trying to bury it and hoping that everyone forgets.
Does anyone else understand this phenomenon? These obsessed people need to be studied. Who understands what's going on with the tab, with the press? When Meghan posts, it's, oh, privacy this, privacy that, cry, tears everywhere, people throwing their toys out of the pram. Why is she posting about her kids? Why is she posting about this and that? And then she doesn't post for a few days. They start having a meltdown, asking where she is. So she can't stay silent even for a day. This is because literally Meghan feeds them. Meghan is all they think about. Meghan is what they breathe. They are totally obsessed. They need to constantly be on her. They need to constantly know what she's doing. They need to constantly write about everything that she does. So a minute silence, they're itching. They're like addicts. They need their fix. They need their Meghan fix. Honestly, they are bigger fans than the Sussex squad at this stage. So it looks like Meghan hasn't posted for a few days. And the press are already looking for her. And in the meantime, it's not going to stop them from printing lies. But they print the lies anyway. So why do they have to see Meghan constantly? Why does she have to post constantly? Oh my goodness. Someone needs to study this. This is beyond normal now. Right, guys? Right?
Right. I remember, was it last year or the year before that, there was actually articles calling Meghan the Duchess of Disappearing or Disappearing Duchess because she hadn't been seen for a couple of months, and they actually counted the days since she was last seen publicly. Yeah, they're obsessed. But people are forgetting this is summer, so I'm sure the Sussexes were enjoying a wonderful summer holiday with their children. And Meghan's birthday is next week. So yeah, looking forward to that.
All right, so today's the day. I'm finally off and I get to try the lemon ginger tea by, of course, Meghan Sussex, and I'm so excited. A lot of you may not know this, but I was actually born in the UK, and so tea is like my thing. Meghan has so graciously put instructions on the back and left us a little note. It reads, I've been making a soothing tincture of lemon and ginger for many years. This beautiful tea blend simplifies the process so you can enjoy it fuss-free. Just add water and savor it anytime, as ever. Meghan. For me, it's all about the little details and I'm loving it. Listen, I can't drink tea without adding honey, so I'm all about the honey. And while the tea steeps, let's bring out our as ever raspberry spread and let's add it to some toast. I will say the tea was pretty good. I didn't even have to add sugar. I feel like, you know, when you take that sip of tea and it gives you that like warm hug feeling? Yeah, it was pretty good. Very flavorful. And I will be buying more. Message to Meghan is please restock very soon because I really need that cookie mix. Thank you.
Just got home from the park with the kids. It was fun. I broke a nail, but I have a package. All right, let's see what's in here. If you know me in real life, then you know that I love the Duchess of Sussex. She is iconic, to say the least. And if you don't know, she recently launched a brand, As Ever by Meghan. That's so cool. And from As Ever, I ordered the Rosé. I am so excited. Literal perfection. I can't wait to try it. Let's get a glass. I'm actually gonna put some ice in it because it's been sitting out, so it's a little bit warm. Delicately balanced rosé with soft notes of stone fruit, gentle minerality, and a lasting finish. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good.
Meghan Markle, Meghan Markle Sussex, Meghan Sussex, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, Meg. Hi, I'm Simone, and I have a request. Can we get your calligraphy turned into a font? Because it is so lovely to the point where I'm obsessed with trying to figure out how you would write my name. I'm going to different people's posts that have the cards that came with their As Ever boxes and piecing together letter by letter my own name. And so I just think that, I mean, I don't even know how this would happen. I don't know who creates fonts, but I think it would just be lovely and delightful and just divine to have a Sussex font. Thank you.
Meghan Markle just outsold everyone without a single ad. She's not in movies, she's not on royal tours, but Meghan Markle just pulled off a product launch that outsold the internet in under an hour. In June 2025, Meghan dropped her second product line under the As Ever brand, a minimalist set of home goods, flower sprinkles, artisanal honey, garden herbs. The internet lost its mind. Everything sold out in less than 60 minutes. This wasn't just a drop, it was a masterclass in controlled scarcity plus luxury branding. No ads, no discounts, no influence collabs, just hype, minimalism, and mystique. The product descriptions, whispers. The packaging, Pinterest core perfection. The vibe, Luxe Target meets Goop, but more grounded. This is soft power brand. Make it feel intentional, not mass produced. Make people want it because they think they shouldn't have access to it. The site traffic surged so hard it lagged. Products flipped for 4 times resale on eBay. And here's the kicker. Meghan barely posted about it. No TikTok dances, no Instagram carousel, no launch event live stream. The brand did the talking because when people believe a product is for a very specific kind of person, everyone else rushes to prove they're one of them. The real product wasn't honey, it was belonging. And Meghan sold it with precision. This is what happens when a personal brand gets elevated into cultural status. You don't need scale, you just need obsession and scarcity.
Can tell who's never ran a business before. Let's just approach this from a logical standpoint. I know that's probably foreign to you, but walk with me. You can even hold my hand if need be. As Ever was founded by Meghan, yes, but it's not just Meghan like in her kitchen whipping up jams. Like, you understand that, right? As Ever is an actual company, a business, a corporation with employees, grown employees, married employees with kids who have real California bills to pay. Like, what exactly would any of them get out of stocking 5 of each product? There was about 20 products. So they've sold 100 products and the entire company is going to get paid from that. Like, I just wonder, like, at what point does reality enter the chat when y'all are thinking and discussing Meghan Sussex. Also, outside of that, acting like stocking 5 of each of those products and selling out of them within minutes is not a success is within of itself just ignorant. I want you to try it. Take your best pictures, mix up your best recipes, put together your best website, promote it to your best ability, and then put it out there and see what happens. Stock just 5 each. Tell me how quickly you sell out.
William is without a doubt the most disappointing thing to come out of the royal family, right? However, having said that, Charles might actually beat him to that. And the only reason that William is more disappointing than Charles is because nobody really ever had any hope for Charles, if we're going to be honest, like, be for real. But this is how bad Charles is. His mother, whom people still love to this day, like, she is the one thing that I think was standing between the monarchy existing and completely collapsing. I think it's going to collapse under William. But Charles kind of sowed the seeds for that, because one of the things that I'm finding out, because every time you like try to have a normal debate with people who hate Meghan, they will bring up that, oh, she wanted her kids to have titles before it was normal or necessary or whatever. So I went ahead and I read that George V Convention from 1917 or whatever. And I found out that I thought that Prince Philip, him being Prince Philip, was because he had come from some kind of royalty with his family. But no, it turns out that he, under the UK, he would have just simply been the Duke of Edinburgh. He became Prince Philip because that's one of the conditions that can give you the title of prince or princess if the monarch confers it upon you, which Elizabeth II did, right? So she was somebody that people loved, somebody that was to this day touted as having, you know, stabilized the UK, whatever. I don't agree with a lot of assessments where Elizabeth II is you know, concerned, because apartheid did happen under her. But in the white world, she's loved. She is revered. And even she didn't dare to say, I'm going to have my spouse be king. But Charles didn't just go ahead and do it. He did it in contradiction with his mother's wishes. Like the one person everybody still respects as a royal, as a monarch, he went against her wishes. Like, like Charles is like, William is terrible, right? But Charles is actually kind of astronomically terrible. Like, how do you fumble Diana and then get your mistress into the throne, and then go against your mother's wishes and not call her queen consort or whatever? And then, like, there's just so much about this family. I just keep getting shocked that these are the people the media said, yeah, let's back these people. Like, not only are they boring, not only are they like outdated and anachronistic, they're also really bad at their jobs. Like, when I read fantasy books, when I read romance books, this is the kind of shit the king is not supposed to do.
And with that, we've come to the conclusion of today's video. Wherever you guys are, I hope you're having a wonderful day. And I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking the videos. Thank you for the comments. I try to respond to as many as I can. Thank you for your well wishes, your prayers, for every super thanks, every person who has joined my membership, everyone who's sent me coffees or donations. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. And with that, I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, hit that notification bell.